Alright, hello and welcome back to another episode of Heroes of the Storm A to Z. My name as always is Conman, and today we are back to supports. We're going to check out Lily. So Lily was reworked fairly recently to change up the way she played just a little bit. She got a pretty solid damage boost. She actually makes a really good secondary support, kind of extra damage that she brings to a team can be pretty solid. I think they nerfed her just a little bit since then. I've not actually played her since the rework, so this is going to be a little bit new for me as well. But the basics for Lily are still kind of going to be the same. So let's start off with her trait. We'll just go into that. So she's a support. You see, 3,400 health, level 20. I guess it's about mid-range. Lily's going to rely. She's an easy character to play because her abilities are kind of just like fire and forget. They're smart targeting, which means you don't even have to worry about necessarily who you target for most of them. You just kind of push the button and do your thing and focus on not getting yourself killed. So she's a pretty easy character to pick up if you're new to the game and you need a support to play. I would recommend Lily. She's kind of a good choice. Start off with her trait. Upon taking damage, you gain 10% movement speed for a second. So, by default, it's not going to be active, but let's just go play at these mercs. Okay, I got smacked, and now I'm a little bit faster. In a team fight, I mean, this is just going to be up. You're going to be taking AoE damage. Things are going to be pinging at you. This is going to be, just great for her. Excuse me. This is going to be just great for her because she is going to be able to run faster. It's all about the positioning, kind of staying within range, out of range of things. So that's her trait. It's going to be up often enough in team fights you don't really have to think about it. And this is going to be any damage at all, whether it be a dot, whether it be an auto attack, whether it be a spell, anything like that. All right, let's get into her abilities. So her abilities, starting off with here, we've got Healing Brew. Healing Brew. Notice it's grayed out. So we'll start off with Healing Brew. It's 3-second cooldown, so you can cast it pretty quickly. This is her primary heal. Heals the lowest health ally, prioritizing heroes within range. For 430 health. So 7 range. That's a pretty solid range, as you see here. Notice this is a smart heal, so it'll target the lowest health hero. You don't even have to do anything. I'm going to walk over here within range. Notice this lights up. Notice you get the icon here above the target dummy's head. I'm going to just press Q. Immediately it just goes to them, and they get healed. Now I've got cooldowns off, so I can kind of spam this. If I were to walk over to here, notice it's down because I don't have anybody that I can heal right now. Now that went to a minion because Malfurion was at full health. But if Mouth did get hit, it would... See, as soon as I don't have anything to cast anymore, that icon goes away. If Mouth did take some damage, as he does now it's going to prioritize him, and it's going to spam him instead. So it's actually going to show you, who's available to be healed. And like I said, lowest target. So I'm here now. You see? It's going to show you who it's targeting. As soon as I walk away, now it's going to target me. So you have an idea who the heal is going to go to. Makes it really easy. Just stay within range and spam the Q, and you're going to be healing for your team. Next ability is Cloud Serpent, level 30 mana, 10-second cooldown. Summons a Cloud Serpent on an allied hero. You could cast it on yourself. It attacks nearby enemy heroes for 55 damage per attack. Lasts 8 seconds. It's going to look something like this. I don't even have to attack. I'm just going to walk within range, and it is going to do the little pew-pew on things. It's just extra damage. You see, you can cast it on an ally. You can cast it on yourself. It's just extra damage. It's free damage, so to speak. You cast it on a warrior who's about to dive in, and it'll just fire off, at the enemy team. It adds up over time. I mean, let's just look at this. Over the 8 seconds... So I'm not doing any attacks myself. And you can see, there you go, 513 damage. I mean, it's over 8 seconds, so it can be healed back up. But that's free damage. That's 513 damage that the enemy team didn't have before. So it's just free stuff. You cast it on who you can. And you can talent into this to make this heal or to chain attacks. So that can be kind of useful. That's another reason why Lily is pretty easy. Another one is her E ability, and this is also smart targeting. Blinding Wind. Throw a cloud of wind at the 2 nearest enemies, also prioritizing heroes. It deals a chunk of damage. and affected targets are blinded for 2 seconds, causing their basic attacks to miss. So, again, I'm just going to stand here, I'm going to hit E, I'm not even going to target anybody, and it just goes to that hero. I mean, it makes it pretty simple. If I walk over here, you know, it's going to hit these 2 mercenaries because they're the closest ones, but if I were to go over here, it's going to hit 1 merc and 1 hero because it's going to prioritize the hero. So this is, you know, 9-second cooldown on this, but this is just, it's just damage, and it's a blind, which makes auto attackers' day pretty bad, and, you know, it's just easy to catch. Just get within range, and there you go. Another reason why Lily is pretty easy to play. Just get her in range and hit the spell buttons. Like, there's not too much you have to worry about in terms of targeting with it. It's just it all kind of does the work itself. Let's take a peek at the ults. She does have 2 pretty powerful ultimates. First one, this one is just, it's so good. Jug of 1,000 Cups. This is like the big ass heal that you'll see. It looks something like this. I mean, look at all of the healing that it's doing to that target dummy. That's 3,000. I mean, what is that? 3,700. At level 21, 3,721 health. That is a huge amount of health. It's going to focus. It's going to work just like her healing brew. It's going to work on the lowest health hero. In this case, it's this target dummy. Look at that. It's got a huge range on it. And if I were to come over here and use it, it's going to heal up Mouth, and then it's going to heal myself up, and then it'll heal up the minions. I mean, whoever just needs the lowest health. Again, prioritizing heroes. But in a team fight, you can hit this, and it's just going to start throwing heals out left and right, and it will, you know, it will cycle between whoever has the lowest health at any given time. But it's a huge amount of health. Something to keep in mind in this: you can be knocked out of this. I mean, you can be stunned out of it. Raynor can knock you out of it with his penetrating shot that's going to push you back. Any talent that's going to, you know, move you or knock you away will stop this before the full cast. So you do have to keep that in mind. You know, you got to watch out for stuff like that. If you have an enemy team, an ETC can run in instant. If you have an enemy team that can stun, you got to be careful on when you cast this because you can get knocked out of it. You know, Polymorph, for example, will stop this before its full duration.
Choose a talent.
All right, her other ult is Water Dragon. Water Dragon, another fire and forget talent. Lily channels for 2 seconds, summons a Water Dragon that hits the nearest enemy hero within 12 range, big range, as you see here by the indicator, deals a chunk of damage. The damage is nice. I think the main thing is that it slows them by 70% for 4 seconds. It's gonna look something like this. Boom. And that's, let's go play with Arthas up here. Let's let him come out. Let's play with Arthas up here. We'll see what it looks like once he spawns. See, like right now the indicator is off because I have no one within range that I can actually cast it on. Here we go, and there you go. Now you can't see it because there he goes. There's the slow. Look how slow he is. That's a huge deal. If you have a big clump of enemies that are grouped up and you can hit a whole bunch of heroes in one shot, they're all going to be super slow. That's going to be a big boon for your team. Also notice that she's able to move while channeling this, so it's not even like you have to stand still and do it. I mean, you can get stunned out of the channel, but you can still move out of the way while you're channeling. It kind of just, good job, Mouth. Just like Jug of 1,000 Cups, or whatever the heck it's called, the 1,000, I think that's right, Jug of 1,000 Cups. Fire and forget. You don't need to worry about who you're targeting. It's going to do the work for you. It's kind of why Lily is an easy character to play. You know, that's also, I think, why they did nerf her after her rework a little bit. She was a little too easy, maybe. I'm not sure if that's their thought process, but nonetheless. She does have, let's reset, she's got some pretty solid talents, depending on how you want to go. You could go full heal. You can go full heal, left and right. Level 1, I mean, she's got some good talents right here. Conjurer's Pursuit is a solid one, because if she's going to be spamming a lot of her abilities, mana could be an issue. I mean, she's not as mana intensive as, say, Kel'Thas is, but, you know, she does have to watch it. Gathering regen globes increases your mana regen all the way up to 2.5 extra per second, and after you gather 25 globes, it's going to increase your maximum mana by 100, so that's nice. You've got Protoss here. I love the name, Protoss, at level 1. Increases the range if you think that's going to be a thing. You may be better suited with Conjurer's Pursuit. You could go, damage build and take Gale Force to increase the damage on your Blinding Wind, if that's the way you want to do it. They increase the Cloud Serpent duration by 50%. I mean, I think all of these are fairly okay, depending on how you want to build it out. I mean, you know, you got to think about it's going to look at your team composition. Are you going to be the primary healer? Well, then maybe you're going to want to go Conjurer's Pursuit. Are you going to be secondary damage? Then maybe you're going to end up with Gale Force or Timeless Creature and go Serpent build. At level 4, I'm not a huge fan of Healing Ward. I mean, it's a lot of extra damage. You know, you can activate to place a ward that heals the area. It does mean that the enemies, only 60-second cooldown, it does mean that the team, excuse me, has to be within range of that. I'm not the biggest fan of this in the world. It's going to look something like this.
Choose a talent.
This can be killed. I think it's just too easy to move out of range, or have it be killed by incidental fire. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, it's a lot of healing. It is a lot of healing. But I'm just not a huge fan of it. I really think you're kind of better off with something like this. Mass Vortex is going to increase the number of enemies hit by Blinding Wind from 2 to 4. So that's it's extra damage, but all of those heroes are going to get blinded. So that is pretty sweet. You could also do Mending Serpent. Cloud Serpent is going to heal, so it's going to be like a mini heal for whoever you cast this on. So that's pretty nice too, if you're going to go that Cloud Serpent kind of build. 7. Excuse me. Level 7, you get your cleanse if you need to. If you're up against a heavy CC team, cleanse may be the way to go. Tough to use in a quick match environment, but if you're going to play like Hero League or high level ranked, something like that, cleanse is pretty sweet if you need that. Alternatively, instead of cleanse, Pitch Perfect is nice. Cast Healing Brew, its cost is reduced by 10 mana for 6 seconds, and you can spam this. I mean, you've got plenty of time after this is cast for this to trigger. So if you're going to be spamming your Healing Brew, you know, Pitch Perfect will help you, you know, stay good on the mana. Alternatively, you know, Lightning Serpent is going to get chain effects. It's going to chain in nearby enemies, dealing reduced damage, but still, again, just extra, more free damage. Skip over here. We'll go to level 13. A couple of good options here. Surging Winds. You gain spell power for everybody hit by Blinding Wind. Additional enemies hit refresh. The duration of this buff stacks up to 4 times. Now notice this has got a 9-second cooldown, so it might be tough to to get this going. Excuse me, a little lump in my throat there. But extra spell power, it's good. You know, that spell power is going to increase the ability of your heals. It's going to increase your damage on subsequent Blinding Winds, so that's pretty nice. You know, Shrink Ray could be good if you've got like a really high damage hero. If you've got a really high damage hero, you can hit him with Shrink Ray. It's going to reduce their damage and movement speed for 4 seconds, so that's pretty sweet as well. 16, got a couple of good choices here as well. 2 for 1. Increases the cooldown, but Healing Brew will hit 2 people, so that can be an interesting trade, something that you think about. It's just extra heals, so that is pretty nice. Serpent Sidekick, if you're going to go that kind of style, you'll get a Cloud Serpent on yourself whenever you cast it on an ally, so you don't even have to worry about self-casting it. You're just always going to want to cast that on somebody else. And then finally at 20, now here's an interesting one. At 20, you got 5 choices here. You've got Jug of a Million Cups, where you can hit 2 targets at a time. Again, you're already getting lots of damage output, or lots of damage mitigation out of this. So if you went Jug of 1,000 Cups, this might be one. This might be one that you consider. Double Dragon, I'm not huge fan of this one necessarily. You know, it could be useful. I think if you're gonna go, you might be better off with Kung Fu Hustle instead. Ability cooldowns refresh 150% faster while Fast Feed is active. So I mean, basically, as long as you're getting hit, let's just toggle some. Let's toggle some abilities and we'll see how this looks.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Alright, Kung Fu Hustle. I'm going to take off cooldowns. I'm going to... Let's just blow the cooldown on this, so you can see it in action. Let's take some damage. Okay, here we go. Now Fast Feed is active. Now look at this. Look how fast I can spam Healing Brew with this. You can see also the cooldown of Jug of 1,000 Cups is coming back. I mean, if you're in a team fight, you're going to be taking damage, which means your trait is going to be triggered, which means you're just going to be able to cast things so much faster. I mean, this is a very powerful ability at level 20. There we go, and there's Jugs again. And then, because Fast Feed is active, this is going down even while I started the channel. I mean, we're already at 8 seconds. It's crazy good. So that's a very powerful ability. So Lily, things you have to watch out for: high burst damage heroes. You know, you can cast Healing Brew very quickly, and you know it's easy to heal people, but it's not targeted. You know, it's not targeted heals, so it is just going to hit the lowest person, and it's not burst healing. So if somebody, if all of a sudden somebody drops, you know, Chromie, for example, drops her combo on you, and, you know, or somebody else, you know, you've got to sit here and you've got to spam Healing Brew to get them back up. You can't just go, okay, now you're back to full health. It's going to take a little while before they're back up. So, you know, if you're against a high bursty team, you might want to go that Serpent build and take Mending Serpent, because it'll give them extra support, you know. Something to think about. You're going to want to watch out for people who can dive in on you. I mean, Illidan could be trouble. You do have the blind, but it's an 8-second cooldown, so once that blind wears off, he's going to be able to do work on you. You know, burst damage heroes are going to give you a hard time just because you're not going to be able to heal them up that, you know, that much. She does have some mitigation with the blind against auto attack heroes, so that's pretty sweet. Anybody who's going to be able to stun you out of your ultimates are going to be trouble. A Nubrick, you know, can get in there. He can dive in on you and stun you. ETC can dive in on you, hit you with Power Slide and stun you out of that. So that stuff you have to watch out for with Lily. She's going to work out pretty well with, you know, if she's the secondary healer. I think that's probably her better role right now, but she can primary heal. Let's not take that away from her by any stretch of the imagination. All right, let's hop into our game here, see what we get. I haven't actually played Lily since the rework, so it should be interesting. It's been a little while since I've played her in general.
Ready for adventure.
Let's see what we can do. I'm a fan of that skin. I think it works out well for her. It's going to be all about just positioning. You get to focus on your positioning while spamming your abilities. You don't even have to necessarily worry about, you know, who they're targeting. It's just going to do the job. Okay, so we've got a Genji, an Illidan, a Diablo, and a Probius. So I'm going to be the primary. I'm going to be the healer. I'm going to be the healer. We've got, what map are we playing on today? We are Warhead Junction, big map. They have this is a 5-man group. Whoa, okay, this could be trouble. So they also have a Probius. They have a Rhaegar. They have a Ragnaros, a Nubrick, and a Gul'dan. So they've got lots of damage. They've got lots of damage between the Rag, the Gul'dan, even Probius can do good damage. They have good interrupts with the Nubrick. I do have to watch out for that. Rhaegar is going to be tough. Yeah, this is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game. I think that's a very solid composition. You know, our comp is okay too. We've got some decent damage with Illidan and Genji, but they're kind of melee-esque. Genji's kind of divey. I don't know, it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to start off with Conjurer's Pursuit. I'm going to go with this one.
Cool.
Are you ready to put your skill to the test?
This would be so much fun.
I am worried that I'm going to have a hard time keeping the team alive with the damage. They've got lots of sustained damage. I mean, Ragnaros can be pretty bursty if he hits with his abilities.
Hope you're ready, because we start in 10 seconds.
Looks like Probius is going to go bottom. I'm fine with this. I'm going to hang out with my team.
3, 2, 1. Kick some tail.
I may go Mending Spirit at level 4. Just because our heroes are melee, so they're going to be up in everyone's business. See, already there's a stun. That's going to put me on. There's another stun. This is just, we need to bail out of this. This is not a good place to be. Yeah, there we go. And this is also why I use Conjurer's Pursuit. Look at look at that engage already. I'm gonna try to body block a little bit. There we go. There's a kill. Good, solid. Oops, I'm gonna back myself up. I want that. Thanks very much. Gonna back up, grab the well. Somebody should go top. Take that, thank you. Okay, so our Probius is bottom, their Probius is top. Diablo looks like he's going to go top and play with him, which leaves us here in the middle. This is fine. Here, have a heal. You see it's got the icon there and what's going to go on. You're going to get... Oh, there we go. Got myself killed, most likely. Yes, I did. That was my fault. Genji backed off, they dived in on me, and that was a problem. I got stunned out of it. That was my fault. Should have been aware of that. Diablo did get the kill on their Probius though, so that's fine. He's going to be uncontested at top lane for a few seconds, maybe even get them out. The nuke. Now, some of my trouble keeping these guys alive is Illidan and Genji are both pretty divey, which means I might have some trouble getting within range to give them heals. Like, Illidan backed off.
Warheads available for collection now.
Let's go up here for a second. I don't know what's going on with this. Have some heals. Yep, he was out of range. That's unfortunate. Here, have one of these. Lili is not the one necessarily to get this, but Diablo. No. There we go, almost. Here we go, you see, everyone's hurt. I definitely have a hard time getting them back to full. I'm gonna cast that on you. And now I'm out of mana. So I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna get the nuke. Maybe, nope, gonna get knocked out of that. I am out of mana, gonna ping, I'm gonna drink from the fountain, I'm gonna come back here, have a heal. You can get one of these. Now I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm just gonna try and get what mana that I can out on this. Hopefully Diablo gets this, we'll get a healing orb out of it, that'll be nice. He does, very good.
Warhead connection completed.
Missed that orb, that was too bad, really would have liked that.
Choose a talent. Okie dokie.
Let's head back to the middle. Alright. Let's just do what we can. I did take Pitch Perfect at level 7. I'm going to be spamming Healing Brew. I want to kind of try to maintain my mana here. Oh, I'm going to back off. So our Probius looks like he's doing work on the bottom. I'm fine with this. I did see a hero peek in there, so he's not alone. Genji got a kill in there, Probius, so that's pretty nice. I want to grab... Oh, I need that, gimme, thank you. Gonna grab that as well. You can have the Cloud Serpent to give you some extra heals. Okay, fantastic. So while those guys pushing in, let's come up here, help Genji out a little bit.
I am restored.
Here we go. Sure.
I want the orb. This is the problem that we have. They have much more damage than we do.
Prepare for Warhead deployment.
At least in this three-man comp that we're looking at. I'm gonna tag the well. Thanks for the orb. So I'm at 7 orbs, which isn't the best in the world, but we're only 6 minutes in. All right, we get 10 first. I'm gonna go Jugs. I had to watch it. They've got stuns. They've got stuns, so I do have to be careful about this. I'm not a huge fan. I just got that, thank you. Illidan is hunting on somebody. I didn't see where he was. There he goes. Okay. Nice kill. Very good, very good.
Thank you.
Here, have another heal. I'll give you one of these. Alright, fantastic.
Collection complete.
Alright, so Ragnaros went Molten Wave, and not Sulfurous Smash, so we gotta be aware of it.
I deserve no less.
Illidan may be in some trouble. I may be in some trouble. He needs to run away. I tried. I was hoping he was going to Hearth.
Sounds fun. Ew, you're so weird.
So I think Illidan should have Hearth there. I mean, I appreciate the support that he tried to save me. I think I would have been okay because they didn't get a chance to interrupt my jugs. I do appreciate the effort nonetheless. Alright. So I would love someone to come back up top lane. We know Anubarek is nearby. I need to get there in a hurry.
Talent.
That was the wrong ability. By the way, that was the wrong ability. We're gonna use some jugs here. So our Diablo did not go Apocalypse. And I think the jugs saved us, even though we didn't get any kills in the engagement. We did force them to back off. Okay. Still, nobody's top. Nobody's top lane at all. They really should be top lane.
Calculating completion time.
But we have a talent tier advantage.
Ooh, what's that over there?
We've got a fort down. I think we have the advantage on this so far. There you go. Good job.
For collection at your convenience.
I'm gonna grab this. Genji might be better off grabbing it, but I'm here. I'm gonna take it.
Warhead collected. Your
I'll take
loot
this.
is now
They're gonna
gone.
take top. I'm gonna drop this pretty quickly and then back off.
Nuclear launch detected.
Sure. Fort destroyed.
Yeah, our fort went down.
Our fort was destroyed.
I'm gonna head up toward Diablo's way. He's gonna have to look out.
Launched.
He might get this kill on Gul'dan, and he doesn't because he has to walk away. I'm gonna keep chasing him. There we go. Okay. That was funny. Lightning Breath, not a fan. Can we get a Merc Camp?
I am restored.
I'm not afraid of you. Uh-huh. Hey, that was our fort. Choose a talent.
let's head down this way. Looks like we're gonna go after a new brick. We will get the kill in Ragnaros, I think. Yes! Just stop him. We just stop him from getting Molten Cord.
I've got just the trick.
I would really like to grab some more mercenaries, because they're going to out-merc us. We're not doing a good job of that. Illidan hopefully would be able to do it, but I don't know. I'm almost got my quest completed.
Sure.
Alert. Warhead deployment in process.
Alright.
Friend could use some help. Now it's fine.
So Illidan's going to get... We're going to get 2 of these straight away. Illidan's going to get the middle one. Nope, that's not good. Oh, didn't get that off in time. So that was stunned, but it was almost altogether completed. I just took a big chunk of damage from Gul'dan. I'm probably going to get... There we go, I get killed.
So many
We really should have backed off there a long time ago. Is he going to get the kill on Rhaegar? Not quite. There we go. Genji follows up.
No, we lost a fort.
We misplayed the hell out of all of that, is what we did there.
Hey, they're attacking our core.
Oh, we're going to lose this game right here.
We should attack here.
Wow.
Kill this fool.
I don't know what Probius is doing. He has a nuke. I mean, I guess he's trying to defend this nuke, but
Our core is under attack.
Diablo's going to get killed, more likely than not.
Launch.
What's that over there? Yeah, Bruce on the house.
A little help here, people. Like, where is the team? Where's Illidan going? Where is Illidan going?
Hey, they're attacking our core.
I mean, what the... I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what... He's gonna get himself killed because he missed that completely.
Good farm.
Oof, that was close. That was a good stop. He would have been killed there.
Complete. Preparing for next round.
Man, like, that's just...
You're a meanie. Uh-huh.
They're not on the mini-map. Are they going for the boss? That's worthwhile to check. Doesn't look like it. Okay. We're gonna come back here, help our buddy Diablo out. He is in some trouble. There's the jugs. We'll get as much out of this as we can. Diablo lightning breaths because they get an ancestral off. Oh, I stood in the bad.
Pick ourselves up.
I don't know what we're doing, like, as a team. I really don't. We have 2 nukes. We haven't dropped them. I really thought, you know, like, these guys were down over here. I thought they were gonna go, like, push those nukes. That's a terrible place for that. That is awful. Why would you do that?
Those forts don't grow on trees.
And there he goes.
Maybe they do.
Alright, Probius he drops his nuke.
Core is under attack.
He's gonna hearth, okay.
Oh no, we lost a fort.
Yeah, we're probably gonna lose this. They could push core right now, I think. Diablo and I still have 15 seconds on our timer. Probius can do what he can. Is it up? It's up. I mean, he should use it. There he goes. Okay, very good. We're gonna lose this right here.
Our core is under attack.
We get that kill. It's a shame it's too little too late. Yeah, we missed. That was terrible. Like, that was just...
Well, we tried our best.
MVP.
Alright. That's fine. He was up in there. I'm gonna vote for him. I thought he was good. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. What did we do wrong? We had the advantage. At one point, we had more buildings down. We had we're halfway through 13 and they were on 12, so we had a talent tier and a level advantage. And then we kind of threw it away. What did we do wrong there as a team? What did we do wrong there? We started to push in. I think there were three main points. 2 or 3 main points that I think where we threw this game. We as a team made a mistake. The first part was on the bottom. We dropped our nukes, we kind of went in, and we hung around the bottom on their side of the map way too long. You know, and that's a mistake that I see all the time. Sometimes it's my fault too. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, I got killed there as well. If you're not pushing in, if you're not gonna push in on the buildings, if you're not gonna push in on the forts and do structural damage, you know, if the enemy team's backing off, run away. Like, just go do something else. Take mercenaries. Go take the merc. We could have just gone and taken their merc camp. We were as a group. We could have just gone and taken their merc camp right there, and then give them something to play with. So they either they got to spend time either killing the mercs or allowing the merc to do damage on their structures right as the objective was spawning. And instead, we hung around way too long. It allowed them to refresh and get their health back and hearth and tap the well and do what they needed to do, and they came in and picked us off. And that was the start of the downhill where all went to crap. The second thing we did, we didn't do mercenaries at all. I think we got one merc I saw. We just let them out merc the holy hell out of us. You know, which was not so great. I mean, this was not the best of compositions for us to go up against. We didn't have a whole lot of damage as it was. You know, Genji is kind of more like divey. He's kind of more opportunistic. Illidan can do damage, but he's got to dive in on things. So that was some troublesome. I think the other thing we did, we were dicking around fighting them while they had a huge push going on our top lane, like a huge push. We lost the keep, which was going to happen given that circumstance. But we let them do core damage. They only got like 5% core damage on us. But like at one point, you know, we still had a ton. They had mercenaries. Probius was set up. They had like a full, you know, minion and a half wave going at us. And Illidan spawns and then just goes somewhere else. Like, just completely goes somewhere else. Like, what was that? What was that? Illidan should have been one of the best to help us out, and he just, you know, bailed on us. Instead, so Probius stayed around on the bottom through that whole engagement rather than hearthing. He had a nuke, so he couldn't take his other nuke. I guess his idea was to hold off the nukes as long as possible so they couldn't get it. Alright, so that's fine. I understand that. But when Illidan spawns, he needs to come out. He needs to come and help us out with that minion wave. And we probably could have ganked Probius with him there. He could have dived onto Probius. It would have been an easy kill. And then that's fine. Even though we lost the keep, we would have gotten a crap ton of experience for clearing the wave, plus the Probius, and that we would have been okay. You know, we would have been in a better situation. Then when we finally, so instead Illidan, and the third thing, instead Illidan went down to get the bottom nuke, and they did fine. So now we've got Probius and Illidan, both have the nukes, and then they held on to them forever. Like, they didn't use it. Illidan ended up coming in, you know, dived in a bad situation, got killed, lost the nuke. We threw the game. We threw the game. I got caught out of position 2 times. I think was my fault. I got once when we overextended in bottom that I was talking about. Once elsewhere where I was like, nope, that was a bad place to be. It was not great. Not great. Well, you see the numbers here. Many heals saved. Ha. You know, strong healing. I did go heal build. I'm fine with that. You know, it wasn't the best comp for us. I tried to do what I could. We'll talk about the talents, why I took them. Level 1, Conjurer's Pursuit. Gathering regen globes increases the mana. Went with that. I'm okay with this one. I knew I was going to go heals, so I wanted to have my mana up as much as possible. Toward the end, I didn't have mana problems, so it was fine. Level 4, Mending Serpent. Cloud Serpent heals the friendly unit for 22. So knowing that I was going to be the primary healer and they had opportunities to do lots of damage, I wanted to just be casting this on teammates who are going to be diving in. I mean, everyone on our team is basically melee. You know, Illidan's melee. Genji's going to dive in and go melee. Diablo's going to dive in and go melee on people. I mean, Genji is ranged-ish, but he'll be close enough for the Cloud Serpent to hit. So that's just extra heals while they're in there. It's free heals I don't have to worry about. So that hopefully, you know, that helped out a little bit. Level 7, Pitch Perfect. After casting Healing Brew, its cost is reduced by 10 mana for 6 seconds. So I was spamming the hell out of Healing Brew, so I wanted to keep my mana up as much as possible. I did have to hearth back at least once because of mana. So I know I was going to be in a little better shape with the quest, but I still wanted to keep my mana cost as low as possible, because if my mana is low, I can you know, cast Serpent more often, as well as my blinds. Level 13, Hindering Winds. Blinding Wind also slows enemy movement speed by 25% for 2 seconds. I think this one was a mistake. I was just, that was in the heat of the moment. I should have gone Surging Winds, which is going to increase spell power for whenever I hit anybody for 5 seconds. For 8 seconds, excuse me, for 8 seconds. Whenever I hit anybody with Blinding Wind, that was the better one to go with. That was my mistake there. 16. We'll come back here. 2 for 1 increases the number of allies healed by Healing Brew to 2, but increases the cooldown. So more heals. Once we're in the grouped up in the team fights, I want to have as many heals up as possible. I didn't get a chance to pick a talent at 20. I would have gone Kung Fu Hustle. The game was over at that point. The core was at like 10%. Would have gone Kung Fu Hustle just to get my abilities up more often. And since I would be casting abilities more often, that's also one of the reasons why I wanted Conjurer's Pursuit, because it's more mana is good. Yeah, that was a throne game. I think. I'm sad that Diablo took Lightning Breath and not Apocalypse. There were a couple of times where he triggered Lightning Breath, and the enemy team was just like, well, I'm gonna run away now, too bad, LOL. I don't like this talent at all. I despise this talent. That's a trap one. I think it's a terrible pick. Apocalypse way better. That's too bad. I could have been better with my timing on my Blinding Winds. There were a couple of times where I was like, I'm gonna go hit this hero, but I was too far away, and instead I blew the cooldown on a couple of minions, which isn't so great. So that wasn't good at all. I'm not gonna critique anybody's talent build too much. Other than this one, I think that's bad. Like, I really do. Otherwise, no, we just threw the game. We didn't use our nukes, we didn't push, we didn't do what we needed to do. So that's poo on us. Unfortunate. I thought that one was going to be a win for sure. We were doing so well, and then we all died. But that's Heroes of the Storm. It's what it is. Anyway, so that was Lily. That's very easy to play, as you can see. You just kind of, it's all about positioning. Like, the 2 times that I died were my own damn fault, just because I was too aggressive in my positioning. You got to be careful about it. Your spells have pretty solid range. So just stay close enough to not have to worry about that. But you don't have to worry about who you're... But it also shows as well why she's maybe better off being a secondary healer. Between Ragnaros and Gul'dan, we got hit pretty hard, and I was struggling to keep people alive without my jugs. Just because she's not great at healing burst damage. She's not bursty with that. She really might be better off being comboed with an Uther or just somebody else who can supply heals. I would much prefer to build her out in a damaged role and just go backup healing while somebody else does the primary healing. So that's just me. This wasn't the comp for it, and I think when you play Quickmatch, you're probably going to end up in that situation more often than not. Because if you play Quickmatch as Lily, I mean, that's your support. You've got to hope that you end up getting grouped in with another support, unless you're growing as a team or something like that. So anyhow. My name is Conman. Let me know what you thought. You know the deal. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.